creatine is really important because it's not in the mitochondria so much as it carries forth the mitochondrial energy to the rest of the cell. That also feeds back in the repair functions for the mitochondria. And so I think optimizing your creatine status is super important. And I think that everyone who's not eating 1 or 2 pounds of meat per day should probably be taking creatine. And you can think of it as if you're eating red meat and you're eating it rare, you can err on the side of 1 pound. And if you're eating, I would include as red meat salmon, which is like a reddish fish and is actually quite high in creatine. If you're eating white meat, white fish, and you're eating well done, you want to err on the side of 2 pounds because they don't have as much creatine, then you cook the creatine out of them and you wind up with much lower dose.
We should probably say salmon. You're talking about wild salmon versus farm salmon, which has a dyed pink skin.
Well, it's not the red color. I think it's coincidence I think the red color is coincidence. It's just a helpful way to think about it. But it probably is the case, at least every Atlantic farm salmon that I've seen, you can tell that it's, well, if you look up it in a database, it's way higher in fat. But you can tell by looking at it that it just doesn't have that lean look that wild salmon has. So I think creatine is a function of the lean tissue mass. And it might be the case that wild salmon are doing a lot more swimming. Wild environment is encouraging them to use their muscles in a way that increases their creatine synthesis. That wouldn't surprise me. I have tried to steelman the case of, could there be a vegan diet that would make you not need to supplement with creatine? The steelman that I've got for you is you'd have to be eating 0.5 kilogram of tofu and 0.5 kilogram of quinoa per day. And that's not typically and that might rip a hole in your digestive system, but so I think that most vegans should probably just supplement with creatine. Most of the brain research is being done with doses around 20 grams. And the thought is that the muscles are going to take first dibs and you need to have a high dose to get it to the brain. There's a lot we don't know about that, but as a default, like if I was healing from a traumatic brain injury, I would take the creatine. I think if you have something that's this serious, you do want to know what your limiting bottlenecks are. So I think actually doing mitochondrial testing that's one of the applications would be oh, now it's really important that I have a 6-month window where I need to maximize everything I can. And so, testing to understand your unique needs, I think would be a way to supercharge that process when it's needed. There was that recent study where they looked at sleep deprivation with creatine supplementation. And so they randomized people to either drink a placebo drink or drink 20 grams of creatine through the night. And they kept them awake all night and they had them do brain puzzle quizzes. And when the subjects were getting the 20 grams of creatine, did way better on the brain puzzles, but they also complained about being tired a lot less. And so the conclusion is creatine is somehow acutely preventing your brain from suffering during sleep deprivation. And the rationale there is mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cell or the power plant that's producing the energy. Creatine is like the power grid and it distributes that energy throughout the cell. And so if the purpose of sleep is to restore the energy that you used up, but then you intervene by putting creatine in there, now you can keep that energy going and you can go more hours before you need to get rest and restore that energy because you've increased your capacity to distribute it.
That makes sense. That is an interesting thing because it's fairly recent that people have talked about this. It used to be people only thought of creatine as being a muscle to help you recover and help build larger muscles. But then over the last, I would say, year or two, I started talking about cognitive function, maybe even more than a couple of years, but about how it improves the sleep thing, though, is very recent, right?
Sleep thing was in the last year. There is some literature on traumatic brain injury where 20 grams of creatine for 6 months doubles the rate of healing. The field is in its infancy, but I actually almost a decade ago did a podcast on just creatine. I called it more than a performance enhancer because if you just look at where it's distributed in the body, almost every cell and every tissue has the creatine system. And so it really is this. And if you look at the literature, they'll say, well, it's more important in certain cells. Like it's really important in your muscles because your muscles have this very polarized. Sometimes they're at rest, sometimes their energy demand is going through the roof, and it's really important in long cells. So for example, your retina is part of your central nervous system, and it's this really long cell that's coming from the brain into the eye, and creatine helps move energy back and forth. If you just look at, instead of where is it most important, you just where is it? Almost every cell in your body has creatine, and it's helping distribute the energy that the mitochondria make throughout your whole body, and that includes pumping stomach acid, it includes sperm swimming up the vaginal canal. If you just look at where it is, you would think that creatine would help a lot more than muscles. And it just turns out that all you need to do is start studying it to start seeing those effects.